This is the AEW September to Remember, held on September 17, 2025, full show results video, which took place in London, Ontario's Canada Life Place. The AEW World Championship contract signing saw Adam Page and Kyle Fletcher face off, with Don Callis interrupting to hype Fletcher as bigger, faster, and better than both Page and Kenny Omega. Page countered, saying he respects Fletcher's potential but added a clause: if Callis or his family interferes, Fletcher loses not only the match but also his TNT championship. Fletcher signed confidently, declaring himself the best wrestler AEW has ever seen and the future of the company. Page warned him about the crushing feeling of failure and challenged him not to disappoint. Fletcher, unfazed, promised no interference but vowed to leave All Out with both titles, and tonight, to leave Hangman beaten and broken. Then we saw a match between Jon Moxley versus Roderick Strong. Jon Moxley and Roderick Strong clashed in a hard-hitting battle filled with strikes, suplexes, and near falls. Strong nearly sealed victory with a sick kick, multiple Olympic slams, and even an avalanche Olympic slam, but Moxley's resilience kept him alive. Marina Shaffer, Daniel Garcia, and Kyle O'Reilly all got involved at ringside, with chaos breaking out late. Wheeler Yuta provided the decisive distraction, allowing Moxley to hit the paradigm shift and lock in the Bulldog choke for a submission victory. On Collision, MJF barged into Tony Khan's office demanding out of the tables and tax match, insisting he's not a deathmatch wrestler. Khan refused, citing wrestling's integrity, leading MJF to threaten that another Briscoe's blood would be on Tony's hands. The next match happened between Bobby Lashley versus Toa Liona. Bobby Lashley battled Toa Liona in a hard-hitting clash. After early domination by Liona, including a Samoan drop on the apron, Lashley fought back with suplexes, strikes, and a spear on the floor. Interference erupted with MVP attacking Ricochet, and Shelton Benjamin neutralizing Bishop Count. Back inside, Liona nearly scored with a pounce, but Lashley countered, locking in the Hurt Lock. Despite Liona's desperate attempt to escape, he passed out, forcing the referee to stop the match. Lashley won by referee stoppage. Tony Schiavone oversaw a heated face-to-face between Adam Copeland and Christian Cage and FTR, with Stokely Hathaway warning of massive fines for any physicality. Cash Wheeler recounted his history with Copeland, accusing him of turning everything into the Cope Show, while Dax Harwood reminded everyone that FTR earned their legacy across multiple brands against the greatest teams. Copeland fired back, recalling personal sacrifices for Cash and defending his and Cage's 25-year impact on tag team wrestling. Christian added insults, mocking Stokely, before declaring himself wealthy beyond fines. Tensions exploded as Copeland and Cage attacked, sparking a wild brawl. Security intervened but failed, leaving FTR bloodied, Harwood's nose busted, as the rivalry reached a violent boiling point. Earlier today, Renee Paquette interviewed the Young Bucks, dressed sharply after last week's big win. Nick bragged about funding a flashy entrance, while Matt vowed victory over Bang Bang Gang and the tag titles, and even Nick handed Renee $10,000. Then we saw an AEW World Tag Team Championship qualifying match between Bang Bang Gang versus Young Bucks. The Young Bucks battled Juice Robinson and Austin Gunn in a fast-paced, chaotic clash. Early momentum swung both ways with double teams, counters, and heavy strikes. Robinson's fiery comeback and Gunn's lariats nearly secured victory, but chaos broke out as all four men traded big moves inside and outside the ring. Nick Jackson landed a corkscrew dive, while the Bucks fought off both opponents with slick combos. After countering Robinson's offense, Matt and Nick hit the Meltzer driver to score the decisive pinfall. With the win, the Young Bucks officially qualified for the AEW World Tag Team Championship ladder match at All Out. Then we saw an AEW Unified Championship qualifying match between Beast Mortos versus Mascara Dorada. Mascara Dorada and Mistico Mortos delivered a breathtaking showcase of athleticism and high-flying counters. Early exchanges featured flips, tijeras, and tornillos, before Mortos took control with a brutal apron piledriver. Dorada rallied with dazzling aerial maneuvers, including an Arabian press and crucifix driver, but Mortos kept powering back with near falls and crushing strikes. In the climactic finish, Dorada cut off Mortos on the ropes, landed a picture-perfect shooting star press, and scored the pinfall victory to qualify for the AEW Unified Championship three-way at All Out. After Mascara Dorada's win, Okada and Don Callis entered, followed by Konosuke Takeshita, who confronted Okada in a tense stare-down. As Callis attempted to calm things, Dorada shocked everyone by flying out of the ring with a springboard crossbody, leveling the Rainmaker to close the segment. Toni Storm cuts a fiery promo, mocking herself with outrageous names before declaring she's still the AEW Women's Champion. She reflects on her 7-month reign, defeating belt collectors and forever champs, and says AEW is where the best truly wrestle. Storm warns her challengers that to take her title, they'll have to burn her to ashes. Jamie Hayter interrupts, reminding Toni she doesn't forget, she invited her into this match, and she hits hard. Kris Statlander joins, declaring it's her moment, because you can't stop Stat. Tensions boil until Thekla arrives with referees to keep them separated before All Out. Then we saw a no-holds-barred match between Queen Amunata vs Thekla. Queen Amunata and Thekla battled in a chaotic, weapons-filled war. Amunata unleashed chairs, kendo sticks, and a trash can lid early, but Thekla fought back with barricade brawls and creative weapon shots, even smashing herself with the lid for momentum. After the break, Thekla speared Amunata into a chair, but Queen answered with a crushing headbutt and a near fall. Thekla fought back with a spider trash can lid shot into a spider superplex, but Amunata responded with a brutal chair toss and fisherman buster into the pile of weapons. Despite Amunata's resilience, Thekla ultimately regrouped and secured the victory by pinfall. After her win, Thekla calls out Toni Storm, declaring her reign's end is near. Storm storms the ring, attacking Thekla until Jamie Hayter and Kris Statlander arrive, sparking chaos. Triangle of Madness overwhelms Toni, but she fights back. Tensions flare further when Hayter confronts Storm, leading to a heated shoving match broken up by referees. Alicia Atout interviews Top Flight, Scorpio Sky, and Christopher Daniels, with Darius Martin vowing to prove that the sky is no limit. Hangman Page warns them about the Don Callis family, while Daniels promises they'll handle business tonight and trust Hangman Saturday. Then we saw an AEW World Tag Team Championship qualifying match between Jetspeed vs Killswitch and Kip Sabian. Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey battled Kip Sabian and Killswitch in a fast-paced tag match. Jetspeed shined with high-flying combos, including a moonsault, Frankensteiner, and shooting star press. Killswitch dominated with power, but tension flared when Sabian slapped him for a tag. The dinosaur walked out, abandoning his partner. Knight hit a diving lariat, and Bailey sealed it with a spinning reverse roundhouse kick. Jetspeed won, advancing to the AEW Tag Title ladder match. Backstage, Big Bill and Brian Keith cut a promo. Bill says he won't believe Eddie Kingston is fighting until he shows up. He mocks Canada, calls Eddie a fraud, and vows to expose him after 16 months on the couch. Earlier today, Bryan Danielson interviewed Darby Allin. Darby recalled climbing Everest to test his word in spirit, vowing never to turn his back like Moxley did. He blamed himself for WrestleDream and begged Bryan not to interfere. Danielson agreed only if Darby promised him something privately. They shook hands, with Bryan keeping the secret. The next match happened between Riho vs Robin Renegade. Riho faced Robin Renegade in a fast-paced battle. After an early offense with a Tijeras plancha, Riho endured Renegade's power and aggression after the break. Fighting back with a dragon suplex and countering a fireman's carry, Riho secured the victory by pinfall with a crucifix driver. After the match, Robin grabbed Riho's leg so that Mercedes can hit a backstabber. Mercedes then stands next to her while holding the TBS title in the air. In the main event of the show, we saw an AEW World Tag Team Championship qualifying match between Don Callis family vs Top Flight, and the result of this match was Don Callis family won the match by pinfall with a head scissors driver from Hechicero on Dante Martin, qualifying for the AEW World Tag Team Championship ladder match at All Out. Chaos erupts post-match as Scorpio Sky, Jetspeed, and the Young Bucks clash with the Don Callis family. Bandito strikes with a moonsault, but Lance Archer lays out Daniels. Hangman Page fights back heroically until Kyle Fletcher ambushes him. After countering Buckshot, Fletcher nails a brutal apron brainbuster through a table, standing tall with both belts, and the show goes off the air. How would you rate this week's AEW 3-hour special show? Tell me in the comments, and thanks for watching.